Hello everyone, my name is Fonihan and welcome to another indie game playthroughs. So today we're playing Suzerain, or Suzerain. I didn't research how do I spell the name, the word, but basically it means that you are ruling as over something, I think. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay. You are my enslavement and my freedom. You are my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You are my country. Nazim Hikmet Ran. So in case you guys doesn't know what is Suzerain, it is basically a game, a text-based game about you ruling out. 1908's Kingdom of Sordland, you open your eyes to this world. You came from a... Now this is the part where we actually choose our own backstory. So I'm going to play as a ruthless dictator in this playthrough. So let's just see. So we're going to start with our villain backstory, right? I mean, every villain has a good backstory. So maybe like a tortured, poor villain who rose to power and then becoming so cruel that people just fear to hate him. Okay, so I'm going to impoverished family in the city there. Your parents name you Anton. As the only son of a farmer, you spend your childhood among wet fields. Life was not easy. You were too poor to afford a good education. The Rayne family was caring regardless of their economically dire situation. Your parents always did their best to support you. The years pass. September 9th, 1923. During a history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. The kingdom was no more. The Republic of Sordland was born. Okay, so I did not fully understand what that means, right? You're just a child, right? 1926, so we are right now 15-year-old. Wait, 8, 23, 23, yeah, we're 15-year-old. Oh, 18-year-old, alright. So after graduating, you passed the university exam with high marks. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies. You choose... yeah, let's choose law. I mean, like... during the first year, you attended a lecture from David Whiskey. I don't know, I'm just going to say Whiskey, because it's cool. He was a well-known diplomat from the foreign ministry. After observing the hall in silence, he explained how the Supreme Court is obstructing justice in Sordland. He stated that laws should be applied fairly, and that even the members of the Supreme Court are subject to same law. You agree in principle? Yeah. I mean, we're like a dictator in the making, right? May 22nd, 1927. Soldiers entered the campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Many were shocked as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest. Along with your best friend Peter Factern, you decided to protest with the students, of course. The coup of 27, wow. One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Lutheran declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You joined the students that slowly marched towards the large group of soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers charged. A student fell and was trampled as everybody started running away. You held your ground. I mean, I want to build like a brave little soldier. The soldier beat you relentlessly. It was a gloomy year. October 10th, 1927. The arrested teachers were replaced by those that promoted conformism to the state. Holsworth turned a blind eye to the things that were happening. But you decided to take actions by joining a human right. or a political debate? I mean, I guess it's being a politician is mean like being the closest to a villain, right? So, okay. No offense to politicians, of course. I mean, like, we're trying to create a story here. The dozens of debates help you hone your oratory skill while also helping you grow your network. Even though the debates were pretty heated between different groups, you all grew from sharing ideas. In one of the meetings, Peter introduced you to one of his friends, Monica. You were immediately attracted to her. Well, I mean, like, if you ask me, like, the most admirable trait of a woman or a man are their diligence, their hard work. Intelligence and beauty, those things kind of like, you can actually learn them with life, right? But diligence, that takes a lot of things, and once you lose it, trust me, you will never be the same. The politically charged environment led you to join the refuse, the socialists. Okay, now this is the interesting. We're going to be sure, let's go with the socialists. Yeah, let's just do that. June 2nd, 1928. So we're now 23 years. The radio relayed that Communist General Ricard surrounded Lutheran and his troops, demanding their surrender. They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves. Sordland plunged into chaos. Ricard's counter-coup caused some instability in the country, but compared to fascist Lutheran, he was a real socialist. This convinced you to participate in a support march. You were chanting, "Freedom, equality, solidarity." Or, yeah, it doesn't make sense if you said you bring down the fascists while wait, fascists and socialists are different, right? Oh god, I am not taught in politics back in the school. Or any school, I think. Yeah, I mean, like, freedom, equality, and solidarity? Sure. You were marching under the protection of Ricard's soldiers. The students opposing the coup gathered a few hundred meters in front of you. Many nationalists were among them. You knew something was going to happen. You stayed. There was a massive clash between the two sides. Soldiers began to beat the students. Tanks started rolling forward. In this chaotic moment, you saw a young girl about to get run over by the tank. You ran to save her, or you warned her? I mean, I think this should set up as a tragic backstory, right? You warned her. But all your efforts were in vain. You never forgot her face. Oh boy, this starts to go terribly bad. The clashes escalate into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica helped you cope, and love grew between the two of you. However, it was a difficult time for love. The chaos must end. 1929, Republic of Sordland. The charismatic colonel Tarkin Sol orchestrated a sudden coup and brought an end to the chaos. He wrote a new constitution and restored stability. The people saw him as a savior. He formed the United Sordland Party and ran as a presidential candidate. In the first ever elections, you voted for United Sordland Party. Of course, we're involved in politics, right? June 1929. USP won the election by a large majority. After graduation, you kept seeing Monica and noticed her interest to marry. However, a letter arrived from the military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. It was time to fulfill your national duty. What a coincidence, because it's also about time to end this part right here. So guys, thank you so much for your time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you can see more indie game playthroughs. Don't forget to check out Suzerain and visualize it now on Steam. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.